Welcome to our webinar. I'm really happy to see everyone here, and thank you so much for joining us today for Bain second round case interview simulation. Before we're gonna start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Alexandra, and I am a consulting manager at Consulting Masters, and I'm going to host this presentation today. I'm going to help you to moderate all this today. So as I know, most of you are probably getting ready for your future interviews right now, right? So the first question is, how many cases have you already cracked? I would leave your comments in the chat, please. No, nothing, not at all. About 30, but wow, wow. So, that's cool. That's super a lot. Okay, about 5. That's for steps as well. For someone, probably it's just the first step of our webinar, and it's also fine. Yeah, okay, that's good. So we have quite experienced case crackers and someone who is just gonna start. That's anyway fine. That's good. And I hope that, first of all, everyone can hear me, everyone can see me. Please put plus if the answer is yes. Can everyone hear me? Yes, yes, thank you. That's amazing. That means that we are ready to start now. That's amazing. Okay, before we are gonna start, I would like a bit of housekeeping, okay, right now. If you have any questions, please type them into the Zoom chat, because then after the presentation or during the presentation, we will have some times to bring them up and to discuss them and to give you answers on your questions, okay? So don't hesitate, don't be shy, all questions, there are no stupid questions, so please ask them. Let's move on. Let's move on to our agenda for today's webinar. I'm going to be responsible for the introduction and rules for and format. And André, our outstanding coach, is going to share with you some of our company's mission and other ideas. Then you will be able to hear some information directly from our clients. How do we help and the other stuff. Then probably the most beneficial, the most valuable, interesting part for you is going to be the interactive case simulation between our ex-McKinsey chief professor, amazing Gaurav, and our candidate, Marc, our client. Then some time for feedback and Q&A session, and conclusion and bonus materials. Speaking about how long are we going to spend today, this webinar is going to take about 2 hours. Both introduction and client references part are going to take about 15 minutes. The case by itself is going to take about an hour, and feedback, Q&A session and bonus materials are going to take about 30 minutes. I would really, really like to highlight one moment. Please, right now, everyone, mute yourself and turn off your cameras, because we want everyone to feel comfortable during this webinar, okay? Thank you so much. Now, I would also like to remind you that everyone who is going to stay till the end is going to receive from us some bonus materials and a special offer for the first session with our coaches. So please stay tuned, stay with us till the end, try to do this. I believe in you, okay? And now, okay, you know me, and I'm ready to introduce you to other team members. Marc is our client, and I would like to introduce him to everyone here. Marc, how are you? How are you doing? Are you ready for today's case?
I am ready. Hi, Alex. Thank you for hosting the webinar. Well, I've been preparing for a lot of interviews, especially with my coaches, and I feel I'm ready to tackle that challenge.
That's good. I really like the way you think, the way you feel. So that's amazing. Now I would like to yield the floor to our outstanding coach, to Andre Homulenko, who is going to introduce himself and he's going to share some insights about our company.
No, definitely not. And by the way, do we actually want Mark to maybe introduce himself, especially to those who is just the first time in our webinars? Mark, can you
Yes.
maybe tell a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, for sure. So basically, I'm a chemical engineer and a petroleum engineer, and I have worked in Dubai for 6 years as a petroleum engineer in an oil and gas company. And then I decided to move to consulting. So I did my MBA in 2 years ago before Corona hit. And that's why, and after Corona, I got locked in Costa Rica for 8 months. I couldn't apply for jobs. And then I came back to the Middle East and I started applying for jobs. I'm Lebanese Canadian. I forgot to mention, I'm 33 years old.
All right. Male, unmarried, and super sexy.
Single.
All right. Okay. So cool. Thank you very much. Now, in the shadow of Mark, let me also briefly introduce myself. My name is Andre Homulenko. I'm a professional career coach and mentor, together with Gaurav Bhosle, and then my consulting masters. We actually help students, MBAs, and young professionals to get into the leading consulting firms. And we mainly do this for two simple reasons. So my personal story is that I'm born Ukrainian. I was, and just after my first internship in consulting, when I was able to help, for example, Russian government to prepare for Winter Sochi Olympic Games, or one of the airlines to develop its frequent flyer programs. I was so excited about consulting world that I definitely decided that I need to pursue this career after my graduation. And then I got a scholarship from the German government and moved to Germany to do my studies abroad. I met my lovely wife, who is accompanying me today and just about to prepare the dinner. Yeah, she is also, she has motivated me and supported me throughout my entire way in consulting. And I successfully accomplished more than 30 missions in more than 10 countries around the world, based out of Munich and Dubai. I have been working throughout Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Central Europe, Russia, Middle East, and even Eastern Asia. And yeah, I want others to benefit from this exciting career and amazing experience which I was doing. So therefore, together with Gaurav Bhosle, my business partner, we have founded this great company. And now we help other students to already successfully pass through the very tough and very demanding application process into consulting. And so far, we have helped already more than 600 clients to get their job offers in the leading consulting firms. Maybe just to give you a couple of examples, like on the next page, you will see that 7 of our clients have actually started working with McKinsey, Bain, Oliver Wyman, and Roland Berger last month in different offices. So if today we're speaking about Bain second interview round, then we really know what we're talking about, because we have already helped so many people to get offers from the Bain and company, and one of our mentees have actually started in Bain last month. And yeah, as you may also consider, most of those people, they started in their positions and now they are also earning a lot, pretty much. they're earning about ranging from 52k British pounds up to 150k US dollars, depending on the position and on the region where they have joined those firms. So this is also kind of a value which we're delivering to our clients. And on the previous page, I want to explain you maybe briefly how we do that. So I want, with every one of you, with every potential client, with you, we will work through the very structured but also tailored to your needs preparation process. And this process covers 7 key stages. So at the very beginning, we will set up with you the right application strategy, specifically based on your needs and requirements and objectives. We will create the list of companies, the positions, then regions, and network. Like, what kind of networking are you bringing, and what kind of networking are we bringing, so that we will define the clear objectives together with you and create an application roadmap. In the second step, we will necessarily look through your CV and cover letter in order to bring them up to the consulting standard. And all of this is necessary to help you easily pass through the screening. Because as you know, nowadays, during the COVID times, it's so tough to even get the interview invite. And what is a key success factor here is networking, the step number 3. So we want to utilize your existing network through your universities or alumni clubs or through your connections over LinkedIn. But we are also very eager to help you with our network. So just imagine how many people we actually know after having spent more than 12 years in consulting. You probably can think that, yeah, we have quite a few friends, former colleagues, and now more than 600 people whom we have already helped, who have started working with our help in consulting. So this is kind of a network which we can rely on in different regions across the world, starting from North America, US, Canada, Latin America, all across the Europe, Russia, Middle East and Southeastern Asia, and even Australia and New Zealand. So we have a wall and access to the worldwide network where we, and all of this, like all the 3 first steps, they serve the one common goal, to help you to secure your consulting interviews, first of all, so that you get invited. Then in parallel to that, we will start a preparation process with you. And this simulation, this webinar, is an ideal chance for you basically to start preparing for your consulting interviews, to see how it really happens. Like, this webinar is called Bain second interview round. So in this webinar, we will actually simulate what actually happens in the Bain second interview round. And do you know why we picked up Marc as one of our VIP clients to play the candidate role? This is because Marc is currently undergoing through the Bain interviewing process, and he has already accomplished his first interview round. So now we are helping him to prepare for the second interview round. So therefore, please use this chat, use this opportunity to put all your questions, all your queries, and to get the insights in how the actual interviews in consulting are looking like. And by the way, can you please also write down into the chat, where are you coming from, like country, city, or also maybe write down into the chat anything interesting about yourself, so that we can also get to know each other a little bit better. Please help us to make this webinar a little bit more interactive for the benefit of all of us. So please write down into the chat city and country where are you joining us. All right, and then I will also continue to explain you The next phases we will basically accompany you through the entire interview process and help you to prepare and pass through all the interview stages. So to pass the first interview round, the second interview round, and the final interview round until that very moment that will be receiving an offer from a leading consulting firm saying something like, "Dear Mark, it was a great pleasure having you last Thursday. My congratulations, we would like to submit you an offer. And could you please share your postal address as well as your banking, as well as your passport details for creating a copy of contract and sending it to you. Best regards, Maria from the HR team." So we want to help every one of you to get this email job confirmation. And we will not stop until you will actually make it. We only stop after you make it, or we will even go beyond. So, and afterwards, after you have received your offers, we will also help you in decision making, in making the right choice for you. What is the company which best suits your long-term goals? And we also want to help you to become a star consultant. Maybe some of you have heard about upper out principle in consulting. It basically means that you only have a limited time to progress to the next level. For example, 2 years. And in these 2 years, you will be either promoted or you will be requested to leave the company. So imagine that you have done all the necessary preparation and you have started together with 10 other peers in consulting, but you would definitely mention that within the first 6 to 12 months, maybe 2 or 3 of your colleagues will be leaving the company and you will receive the bye-bye emails. This happened probably because they didn't actually met the requirements from the firm. Imagine that you have put so much efforts in your education, that you have put so much efforts to get this job, but then after 1 year, you're requested to leave. I mean, it's a nonsense. It shouldn't happen like this. Therefore, we want to help you to thrive in this career, to make this not just a job, but a real profession for you. So, and therefore, together with Gaurav, we want to share all our 12 years of experience, which helped us to become a great consultants by ourselves, because we have been promoted on the so-called fast track career. So I received my first promotion just after 5 months after joining Roland Berger. This is so quick, so insane, so good. And I really want you to follow this path. And therefore, it also helped me to increase my salary to 150,000 euros just within 6 years, which is and become a senior project manager. And I want to share all this know-how with you. I really want to serve you and help you make the change, make the impact in your life and in your career, because I'm pretty sure you're so talented. I simply want to help you to unleash your full potential, because I want every one of you to experience this breadth of work, to have a chance to work in this challenging but also very rewarding environment where you can do the projects every 3 months in different regions, in different geographies, in different industries and different functions. And you will be surrounded with bright-minded people where you can learn really a lot from them. So I want you to have this unique experience. And that's why we are here. And I'm so pleased to see so many people and so many countries represented here. So I see that Horn Tran is from London. A warm welcome goes to Harmis Ran to Barcelona, or to Sanya in New Delhi, or to Marc, of course, to Lebanese Canadian in Dubai, or to Nairobi, Kenya, to Franklin Nyabanga, or to Dubai, or to Italy, to Oliver Erhaldi, or to Beirut, to Tony Nasser and Mahmoud Mabsood, or to Chicago, Illinois, to Andrew. Yeah, thanks for joining our webinar, Andrew. Or to Paris, or to Lena Fritzen, to Germany, my almost home country, or to Karachi. So thank you very much for joining us, and please use this valuable time to ask as many questions as you can and interact with us and to really learn, because we're doing this for you. Thank you very much. I think I will now pass to our clients, basically, and yeah, whoever from our current clients who would like to speak.
I can start, Andre, if you want.
Yeah, sure, please. Marc.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm gonna share my experience with my new coaches. So basically, when I decided to move to consulting, I took the things with my own hands and I started practicing by myself. So it was after the MBA. And basically, I didn't know how to do any case. And I started joining this website like my consulting coach and the prep lounge. And I started doing cases with some people, my level, lower level, higher level. After some times, I noticed that I'm a bit more advanced than the rest. And I felt I'm not getting the right feedbacks anymore. So, and I was doing at the same time some BCG interviews, and I reached the final round, but it didn't work out. And then I did with Kearney, and it didn't work out. And then I felt there is something maybe in my performance that is not good. So I have talked with my friend Omar that I met through my consulting coach, which is also a client here. And so he advised me, he told me about consulting masters, and he told me he really benefited. I said, okay, let's give it a try. So after I joined, I really felt honestly that my performance in the cases, like sometimes I used to block, forget the main target. Every section in a case, they will work on it and make you understand what's happening in every section. And also for the fit section. So they do that by doing one-on-one sessions, group sessions, webinars like this one. Also, before every interview, Andre and Gaurav will call me and yeah, let's have 1 hour session. I said, yeah, sure, thank you. And they will give me like the exact point that I need to know for every firm. And I'm gonna keep doing that. So tomorrow I have a Bain interview, the second interview. And already I did the call with Andre and Gaurav about it. And that's it for my experience. Like I benefited a lot, and I do feel, as at least from my personal assessment, I do feel that I ameliorated a lot in solving cases, being more confident in the interviews, and basically that's it. Thank you, guys.
Marc, can you maybe also tell a little bit more about your experience as being part of the group of the VIP community and program?
Yes.
How do you perceive it from your perspective, from the client's perspective?
So basically, how they do it is basically they will do some. So part of I don't know. You already explained the 3 programs that you have. So I took the VIP program, which for me is the most convenient. So basically, first they worked on my CV and my cover letter, and then we started like all the groups from the VIP program. We connect on a daily basis, we solve together cases, and everyone is almost at the same level at the others, and that helps a lot because Andre and Gaurav will not always be available doing one-on-one sessions with everyone on a daily basis. So we started doing with like this new small community. We became very close friends, and we solve on a daily basis 1, 2, or 3 cases, and we give amazing feedbacks, like high-level feedbacks to each other. And that's why I'm really happy about this program, because I met, other than these 2 amazing coaches, I met these guys that I like. We are very devoted. Everyone is really goal focused on getting into consulting. So that helps a lot, because you have people your same mentality, going to the same goal, solving cases, and they are really, really helpful. Like we are like a family, honestly. And before everyone interview, we also help them. Beside that, the coaches have been really amazing with me and with everyone. And they also help us with the referrals. Every week, André send on the group who's interested in joining that firms. Whoever is, let me know so I can refer you. So that also helped. I personally know very well how hard it is to get an interview. And if you apply online, just forget about getting any response from the firms. You need a referral in every company you apply. Basically, you will lose your chance to apply to the company if you apply, because there is like a 1 year or 6 months, you will not be able to apply again if you find a referral. So they also help on that. And basically the full package to become a consultant.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Mark, for sharing your perspective. I also see that there is a question from Omair Kurni. Maybe you could also turn on your camera, Omair. So the question is how to keep calm and composed during a hectic consulting schedule or when things don't go your way. Would love to hear from Gaurav and from your experience. Gaurav, would you like to share your view?
Yeah, sure. So are you already a consultant, by the way? Person who asked the question? Okay. No. Okay.
No, not
okay.
yet.
Okay, good. So, so I think it's so funny, but the consulting preparation process itself is so rigorous, yeah, that it partially teaches you how to stay calm in the consulting role as well. Yeah, so yes, it's a demanding career, and keeping through the thick and thin of the consulting life is art and science. Okay, so there are a lot of things from a competency perspective that you need to actually learn. Yeah, but at the same time, there is also a mindset level. So I always divide it in 3, just like a consultant. It's mindset, skill set, and the infrastructure or the support system. Yeah, so you need to work on all these 3 levels in order to ensure that you are a successful consultant. Yeah, so we have an entire program around it. So I don't want to, like, if I start explaining this, this will probably take 2 hours minimum. But yeah, you need to work on all the levels: mindset, skill set, and the support system.
Yeah, maybe just also an extension from my side very quickly. As part of our program, whether it's VIP result program, which Marc is, for example, signed for, or VIP alumni program, which is even an extended version, which will help you to get ready for the first 100 days and successful long-term career planning. All of these group simulations, which we are doing, and this webinar is a great example of it, we expose our candidates to the heat, to feel them the real pressure, even before they come to the actual interview. I mean, just imagine how Marc could be now so stressed sitting in front of 40 people whom he barely know, and need to deliver all of this case. I mean, afterwards, after he has done this couple of times, I think it's pretty easy to manage just 1 or even 2 interviewers in the real interview. So all of this preparation serves the 2 main things. First of all of our sessions serve to make yourself familiar with the entire process. so that nothing can actually catch up you by the surprise in the actual interviews. And secondly, our objective is to make yourself confident that whatever happens, you are very focused and you are relaxed with being yourself, so that you can handle all those pressure and all those curveballs really easily and playful. This is kind of an attitude and know-how which we are delivering to you. All right, guys, I also pointed out this in the chat, so please feel free to use the chat function to put your questions which you would like to get answered during the webinar, and we are happy to do so. And for now, we will also carry on with the next part of the presentation to let Gaurav introduce himself.
Okay. So good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are joining from. Welcome to this consulting.
Voilà. Donc, le but de mon projet sera de mettre en place.
I would love to learn French, but not this way. Can you please mute the phone, please? Yeah. So, yeah, I think welcome to Consulting Masters family. I call it family because yes, we work like family. We want to ensure that every one of the family member achieves the goal that he has set for himself or herself. My background, you can read it on the slide. I don't want to get into too much of that detail. I'm an ex-McKinsey consultant, having worked across almost the entire globe for several years. And I hung my boots in 2013 and got into area of my passion, which is career transition coaching. Since then, the numbers that I have produced are in front of you, more than 500 people joining McKinsey, BCG, Bain, etc. And I'm actually, I learned how to coach. Yeah? I very quickly, I figured out it's a different story to become a Roger Federer, but it's a different skill to make others Roger Federer. Yeah, not every player becomes a good coach. Like that, not every consultant is a good coach. Yeah, you really need to know how to really understand every candidate from his personality, from his skill, will perspective, and kind of guide them in a proper way. So this is what we have been doing. We are both of us, me and André, are passionate about career coaching at first of all, right, at core. And having come from consulting, of course, getting people to consulting and making them not just consulting interns, but also star consultant is something that we are passionate about. Yeah. So yeah, that's about me, and probably we'll see more of each other once we are in the case, and hopefully after that as well. Thanks. Okay, good. So I think we will start the case simulation, but even before that, guys, I'll just talk to you a little bit for 2 minutes. I'll talk to you about the second round of Bain, and there's always a question in terms of in MBB how the second rounds are different from the first rounds, and what is the difference between the BCG second round and Bain second round and all that stuff. Yeah, so understand that second round by default carries a very senior interviewer. Okay, that's why the weightage in these interviews on the fit is typically much higher than the first round. A lot of times in a lot of offices, there is a practice of sharing the feedback from first round to second round, which means in this round, the interviewer will be much better informed about what is your where your strength lies. At the same time, what are the improvement areas that have been highlighted by the previous round. So he's much more prepared for you. Okay. Overall, I always say that, as you move through the rounds, in some cases 2 rounds, some cases depending on the office 3 rounds, the breadth decreases and the depth increases. Yeah, so you will see much more probing on every question. Yeah, I think Andre used the word curveballs. So it's those kind of curveballs, very atypical way of getting into cases. Yeah. Don't forget the basic math, basic structuring, etc. has been already evaluated in the first round. That's why the candidate is in the second round. Yeah. So here the skill is not, here the test is not about kind of the basic skills, but the client readiness. Okay. So all these things do count, especially with Bain. Overall, what I have seen over the time is, especially when you have partner interviewers in the second round, they disproportionately spend time on the fit part. In fact, there are so many cases where, so many interviews where there's absolutely no case, or there is just an analysis or two, and then that's over. Yeah. Bain takes pride in also saying that we really choose candidates where the culture is matching with the firm. Yeah, so there's a lot of emphasis on the fit part as well. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how let's demonstrate that. Yeah, with a Bain candidate and Bain interviewer. Okay.
All right, but now, ladies and gentlemen, I need your support. I really need your support. So can you please turn on your cameras and your microphones, because there is a small shy guy called Marc who needs your support for tonight, but also for his upcoming interviews tomorrow and later on. And he's so shy. I mean, he simply needs to be encouraged. So ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to turn on your cameras and give him an applause to really cheer him up so that he can do his job really very well today and tomorrow? Even my wife is just wants to give him some applause.
Just be yourself. I'm sure you're gonna do good.
Thank you, Oliver.
Come on, Marc. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Marc.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Now, please mute yourself and please use the chat function to put your questions, your feedback later on, so that we can have a really good discussion moving forward. And now I will leave Marc and and our Gaurav to have the interview simulation. So please enjoy the show.
Hi, Marc. Welcome
Hello,
to Bain.
Gaurav.
Bye. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah, we would have loved to hosted you on in the office, but yeah, thanks to Corona, there's a distance between us. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Gaurav, no problem.
Right. So, Marc, I do have your CV in front of me, but why don't you tell me something which is not there on your CV and that you find it interesting?
Okay. So basically, my good vibe is something that I am very proud of, and that is not in my CV. So basically, by working in many industries and being an entrepreneur, I have worked with different type of people, and I pride myself by being basically having a good vibe, a positive vibe around me. I push the whole team to improve and to always aim to achieve the job in the best way and on time. That also tell a lot about my leadership skills, where I have led many teams to achieve goals. I have created an NGO in Lebanon, which is now the biggest NGO in Lebanon, And I have worked on with many teams to be able to achieve that level of growth. So that's basically the two main things that you cannot find in my CV.
Oh, okay. I almost felt that I put you on spot. Can you tell me an instance where you, in professionally, you have been put on spot, and how did you react and how did you respond?
What do you mean put on spot?
You are not expecting something, but you are directly in front of the responsibility.
Yes. So back in my time when I was working with Petrofac, I was sent on site in Qatar to build two big plants of gas plants. So my job was basically as working as a planning engineer and project management. So after 3 years in the project, we were facing a difficult situation where we used to live on site. So in the desert, we used to rent from a third party all the accommodation for the 1,000 employees on site. So what happened is the contract was almost done, and we had to extend the contract with Qatar Petroleum, and they didn't want to renew the accommodation place, and our HR and the admin team was hopeless. So what I did, the manager approached me and he said he needs my help and we need to find a solution. So what I did is I had a meeting with my manager. I asked him for the budget and how many people we need to accommodate. So I took a car, I started doing I went to every site. I started doing meetings with the accommodation with the landowners to see how to accommodate them. I went also to Doha, to the capital, and then I prepared a presentation. And I prepared the presentation where I divided two groups of people. One group will come from Doha and the other one will be able to accommodate them on site, which are the night shift people, the laborers that need to be on site in case of emergency. And basically that's how I was put on spot when it was not my duty to do it. And I was able to save people not sleeping on the street. And basically, I learned a lot. So many things happen without being prepared for, but then you have to take things in your own hand and try to do whatever is asked from you.
Okay. Why do you think that HR guys were hopeless?
They were useless. They were so useless. They had a deal with CCC camp, and the CCC camp wanted to do some renovation in their site, and they wanted to turn it into something else, not as an accommodation. So we had almost 3-4 days to find another place to sleep, and he didn't do anything.
Okay. Can you talk about an instance when you had to run something on a very tight budget?
Yes. So thank you for asking me that question. Opening a restaurant in Costa Rica while during COVID, and while knowing that in Lebanon situation, I don't know if you are aware of Lebanon situation, our money is all stuck in the bank in Lebanon, and we can't take them out. So I was stuck in Costa Rica, not being able to come back to my home country. I decided to open a restaurant. After opening the restaurant, we had a very minimum budget to start the restaurant, and me and my partner, we decided on a plan to go. So basically, it was we need the minimum amount to start the project, and after that we take from the revenue. And we took a big risk because usually they put 6 months in advance in the in the company bank account to work the business. So we planned everything perfectly. We were able to open the shop right on time. We did 2 months of planning. I prepared a micro and a macro schedule, and after that we opened the shop, and there was a lot of demand, and basically I worked as a chef, and we had to decrease, we didn't hire any employee the first month, so me and my partner, we were the chefs, so to decrease the cost, and basically we're able to achieve our goal of opening and making it running and profitable in just 1 month. And we were able also to open another branch after only 5 months of operation.
Tell me about that micro and micro planning. What do you mean by that? What did you do exactly?
So basically, to open a restaurant was the biggest challenge of my life. I never imagined opening a restaurant required that much activities and the task to do. So basically, you need to take care of hiring people, doing the food costing, food engineering, comparing prices of suppliers, comparing every ingredient that you need to get. So all the activities in what I needed to do, I put them in a micro and a macro schedule. For example, in the micro schedule, I put for every activity, the detailed activity that need to be done on a daily basis, linking activities together. So sometimes I need to, for example, contact that person, and if I don't contact him, I will not be able to get it on time. So that will affect the other activity also. So that was, and for the macro, it was more general ideas, which are more general activities, which are working on the license and the government, the municipality approvals and all that.
What's the learning?
So I learned a lot that first, that you can't do anything in life without being very organized, and you need to plan everything basically, and to be able to not exceed the deadlines. That was the main learning. And after that, the working hard always pays off.
Okay. And how do you relate that to consulting life?
So I do know. So thank you for that question, Gaurav. So basically, I do link that with consulting, since I live with a consultant. He's in Booz, and I see how on a daily basis how busy they are and how tough is the job. And if he just rest and take it easy, he will miss all his deadlines and not be able to achieve his goals on time. So basically, that's how I link it. You have to work hard. You need to be very well organized. You have to plan your calls very well. So if he wanna meet someone, he will give him an appointment at that time. Let's talk for 30 minutes. After that, he has other appointments. So you need to be very organized.
It's risky, huh? You are staying with the Boost consultant.
Yeah, and the Bain consultant.
You might share the data.
Yeah, I hear all their project. I can tell you later.
Okay, so why consulting, Marc? You seem to have a lot of entrepreneur flair and a lot of different things you have done in life. Yeah. Why consulting? Isn't that boring?
I don't think that's boring. So besides the fact that I have already been working as a private consultant for 1 year now, and I had an amazing experience, I want to move to a more strategic firm for mainly 4 reasons. To start with, I want to have a fast-paced career with rapid advancement and never-ending learning curve. Second, in consulting, every engagement is different. So basically, you will be working with different kind of clients. Every client is a unique challenge. And I know this will provide me with great exposure to my career and to various industry. I will be able to learn, to have a lot of knowledge about different industries. Third, and the most important
Mark,
one is,
so I was thinking that I mean there is some project going on in oil and gas, some implementation project. You have worked with Petrofac. I was planning to, if we hire you, we'll probably put you on 2 years project on oil and gas. But then you will probably not like it, huh?
why not? Whatever is the goal of the
There is
company,
no
I will
variety. You 2 years you will be working on an implementation project.
I would love to work in an implementation project also. That's also part of the consulting job, and basically,
But you want diversity in experience, no?
yeah, and that's part of the diversity. Working not
How?
on strategy, but also in implementation. Implementation also, there is some kind
No,
of
you're okay. You're
implementation.
okay to work on an implementation project for 2 years.
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay. For what? Why Bain? You have a flatmate who is booze, right? So why not booze?
I have a flatmate that is in booze, and I took the room of a guy that is Bain. Uh, he's in Egypt, so I stole
So you
his room.
made him homeless, yeah?
Yes, until I get a job. So I chose to apply to Bain basically for four main reasons. The first one is Bain is a top consulting firm, is the top consulting firm in the world. And I do believe that I have gathered enough experience and knowledge from my professional education and entrepreneurship experience to target the best firm in the world. Second, I do know that Bain have an expensive portfolio, especially in the Middle East, where they work with different clients. They do both private and public sector, and that will help me gain a lot of knowledge in different industries. So I do know also they have a lot of projects in oil and gas, as you mentioned, and innovation. And that's something I have a lot of skills in, especially that during my MBA, I did a dual concentration in strategy and technology. Third, and the most important, which is their differentiating factor, is that the culture of Bain. So basically, they pride themselves that they live by the philosophy that the Baini never let another Baini fail, which is something very nice to live by, and basically, which means every colleague will help another colleague that is facing some challenges. So there is a collaborative culture in the company. And also on Glassdoor, it has been the #1 place to work for many years. For more than 13 years, it was top 5. And finally, it's a growing firm. They are growing at a very fast rate, and I would love to be part of that growth and the change they are doing to the region and the Middle East. For all these reasons, that's why I would love to join your firm.
You believe the Glassdoor rating?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you are more intelligent than that.
But why not? It's an international ranking, and it's quite famous. And for the past 2 years, they've been #1. And for the past 15 years, of course, there is some lobbying and marketing. And I do know that, but I do not believe that Bain would do something like that to be in top on a Glassdoor to be ranked first, because everyone would love to join Bain anyway. So, but I do believe that this website may accept some lobbying to help boost some firms.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting, Mark. Let's think about this. Okay. Let's say that we are 5th on Glassdoor. Okay. And in 1 year we want to be first. Yeah. And we have hired you to help us achieve this. How would you help us?
Okay. So first of all, I would check the metrics that Glassdoor use to rank every firm. So basically, I guess there will be some culture, number of people, the friendliness, the management and employee relationship, and some reviews and some surveys. I guess all that. So basically, in order to help your firm pure firm to achieve number one on a Glassdoor, I would work separately on every point, try to find some strategies to improve it, and try to achieve that ranking.
I think you spoke about a lot of criteria. Tell me, I mean, according to you, outside in perspective, what all criteria Glassdoor must be using in their ranking algorithm?
Okay, so first, I believe that Glassdoor use a review system or a survey system where they send to people working in different company for different type of questions, and then based on the answers, or also to the alumni that leave the company, how was your experience in Bain, in Amazon, and then based on that, that can be one metric. The second metric can be the quality, the salaries. Maybe the salaries can be a big factor. So the more you pay your employees, the more they are happy at their work, the more they perform better. Third, I can think about the well-being and the culture and the friendliness of the firm. So by that, I mean maybe how colleagues help each other, and what the company do in case of crisis, like during COVID, if they help them. If
how would you get that data point? How colleagues will help each other?
By doing some surveys and by sending surveys or receiving some feedbacks or sending emails.
And how do you test the validity of the survey data?
So basically, the survey should include like maybe 200 questions, and there will be some repetitive question. And if you answer the same question, but that is asked a bit differently, that can show a little bit the authenticity of his answers. And also,
good point. Go ahead, please.
So in addition, there will never be 100% authenticity in the reviews. So some people will want their firm to be number one, so they will talk very highly about their firm, even though maybe they're not happy. And I do know that consultants are like, sometimes they don't have a nice work-life balance, but at the same time,
that everybody will do it, right? So it's an equal playing field. That will not matter, no?
Yes, this one, yes. I do believe that surveys which are anonymous, this is where authenticity will mainly shine. So you just send to the person to fill the survey, and he doesn't have to write his name. So we can do it through the HR of every firm to send it to their employees, and directly the collection will be to Glassdoor and not to the HR.
Why would HR do that? And
if
HR will only send it to people who have basically left amicably, right?
Yes.
mean, HR is the last person that you would that Glassdoor should approach.
But maybe it's, if you want to be in on Glassdoor, there will be some strategy to follow. So you have to send, and I need to prove that you send it to all your employees. So you have to send to this global email, and that everyone will receive, and I need to see that you send it to you. Mainly, the main focus will be on the alumni, basically. That shows really what happened in the last 2-3 years of the performance of the firm. That's an addition.
Okay, and what about aspirants? Do you think another segment is aspiration? So probably surveying MBA schools, etc., to identify according to that survey, what percentage of candidates are actually aspiring to be, let's say, join McKinsey or BCG versus Bain, etc. Would you
yes,
take that data?
Definitely, that is important, because that shows that the firm is having a good reputation while people are talking highly about the firm. Because at the end, everyone has a friend that is a consultant, and you will ask about his experience. So if you talk nicely about the firm, I would love to join it as well.
Okay,
so I do believe that
then MBA data is not going to be a messy aspect, yeah, because that friend has already spoken nicely about it, which is captured. So then getting the data from MBA school is not a good idea. Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I do believe that it is important because that shows the performance of the firm. What I meant is, if you want to target the MBA were during the year where they were doing their MBA, they were they had a lot of interviews, and they had a lot of webinars with people from Bain, from McKinsey, from every firm. They come to university and they talk about their firm, and then they choose which firm they would love to join. So they were able to do a good marketing about themselves. It might be true, it might be not true also.
Okay. Yeah, so why don't you reflect on our discussion and tell me what kind of metric will make sense in Glassdoor's algorithm?
Okay, may I have a moment?
Sure.
Okay, so basically, it's Glassdoor would do their ranking based on different metrics. The first one would be the salaries being paid to the employee. That shows the happiness of the employees. It's one of the signs that the employees are happy. Second, the surveys collected from MBA and from alumni that shows the authenticity of the responses if they do a very well survey. Third, the reputation of the firm and how current consultant and alumni talk about their firm. And finally, the relationship inside the firm, how management would treat their employees, and if there is growth in the, like if you have a clear vision growth inside the firm, and of course the values of the firm. I don't know if that they take them in consideration.
Okay. So coming back to our original question, if you are hired to help a company grow its ranking in Glassdoor, what should be your approach? How would you help them?
Okay, so basically I will work on these metrics. As I mentioned, so we need to have, in order to help Bain become a better ranked on Glassdoor, basically I would target every metric that we just mentioned, starting with the survey maybe of the MBA students, where we'll assign and train a team that will go and shows a presentation about the firm and shows some videos, how the vibe and the culture is inside the firm. Second, about the reputation, I will just try to make the best inside the firm. So my employees, I try to work on the work-life balance of every consultant so he can be happy and perform at his best and talk nicely about the firm. Third, the salaries, I try to increase them even more, even though I know that the salaries are high in consulting. And basically, I will do an assessment about inside the firm to see how's the relation every employee with his manager, with the partner, and the growth strategy that he has inside the firm, like in how many years he's going to be able to become a principal.
Okay.
So basically.
Okay. So you'll basically try and improve everything.
Yes.
Yeah, including salary, making their life better in work-life balance. Yeah. So you'll basically make us shut down the Bain.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. If it's a deserved increase in salary, then you have to give it. I do know that now during due to COVID, some consultants were promised to become manager, but they got postponed for 6 months and 1 year, and that's something really frustrating. While the firm is winning some projects, so it's not. Some consultant will not be happy about that these decisions.
Okay. Should we do one small case?
Yes, for sure. I would love to.
Yeah. Okay. Very small prompt, Mark. Your client is a manufacturer, American manufacturer of shopping trolleys. Yeah, those steel trolleys with wheels. The client is contemplating entering the UAE market, and he has hired you to help him make this decision.
Okay, thank you, Gaurav, for this interesting case. So basically, my client is an American manufacturer of shopping trolleys, and he's willing to enter the UAE market. And he has hired me to see if it's a good decision or no.
Right.
So before jumping to structuring my thoughts, may I ask you a few clarifying questions?
Sure, please.
So first, can you explain me a little bit more about his business model? So how does he work? How does he deliver? And who are his clients mainly?
Sure. So it's pretty simple actually. So you know the shopping trolleys, right? So in the shopping malls, whenever you roam around from one department to another, yeah, especially in the food or where there is a heavy luggage, yeah, you have these steel trolleys with wheels, yeah, and you put your whatever you want to buy, you put it in the basket or in that trolley and you take it forward. We are talking about those trolleys, yeah. So this is the company that manufactures those trolleys. They have operations almost in every continent, so it's not practical to make a trolley in US and then export it, yeah? It's too much of expense. So they have manufacturing facility across the globe. So they basically manufacture it and sell it to the potential buyers, which you can imagine typically are the shopping malls.
Okay, so basically what he's willing to do is to create a manufacturing of this shopping trolley in UAE, and then to sell it to this shopping malls.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, he can outsource the creation or manufacturing part as well. Point is, but whatever he does, he will make it in UAE. There's no way he can
Okay, thank you for that.
Import it. Yeah.
So it's a B2B model. And may I ask about does he has any success metric or any goal to achieve?
He does. So he feels that if he can get around 10% market share in 1 year, in the first year of launch, he would find this market interesting. Anything lesser than that, he probably is not interested.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for this clarifying answers. May I have a moment just to structure my thoughts?
Please.
Thank you, Gaurav, for your patience. Sure. So in order to better advise my client if he should enter the UAE market, I have divided my structure into two main buckets. The first one is market attractiveness, and the second one is a feasibility study. Under market attractiveness, I would like to analyze the size of the market and if there is any growth in the market. Third, I would like to analyze the competitive landscape. What is each competitor market share, and if they have any differentiating factor. Fourth, I would like to analyze the customer's needs and preferences, and if they have any loyalty to any supplier or no. And finally, the profitability, where I will check the revenue, the future revenue, and the future cost that I may have in that market. As for the second bucket, the feasibility study, I would like to analyze the four sub buckets, which are the financial feasibility. Does my client have the means to enter that market? And second, the operational feasibility. Does he have the know-how to enter and do a business in the UAE? Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
And third, the strategic fit. How does that fit in his portfolio? I do believe that it will fit in his portfolio, since that's the only thing he's doing, is not being diverse. And finally, the people. I would like to analyze the people, if there will be any barrier language, any cultural difference between, I do know that he's American, so if there will be any contrast, or also if there will be any barrier of entry to that market. What do you think about my structure?
Yeah, what this is good. Very good. Well, how do you know that he doesn't have any other products and he only does this product?
Yeah, No, I would love to know if he has other product other than fabricating trolleys.
Yeah, that's presumptuous thinking. And
sorry.
what kind of cultural barriers and differences you will see in the shopping trolley business?
Maybe the people that you will hire, maybe there's a law in the UAE that you can't fire them without giving them a lot of
You're saying
compensation.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about product. Because
No.
I think in across the globe, I've seen trolleys which are very similar. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So why don't you start off with market sizing? Tell me, and let's not go complete UAE. Yeah. Let's pick one city. Let's say Dubai. Yeah. In Dubai market, how many trolleys are required every year?
Okay. May I have a moment?
Sure.
So just I have few questions before. Sorry for that. So do you want the result in the currency or in number of trolleys?
I told you number of trolleys.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. So thank you for your patience. So in order to do the market sizing of the number of trolleys in Dubai, I would start from the population of Dubai. Then I would segment it into age. The first filter I would put is the age, where I will remove the bucket of below 18 and that still are not working, and more than maybe 60 that is not anymore energetic to go to supermarket. And moving forward, I will consider buying online and offline. How many now they buy online versus offline? And moving forward, I would also consider the working class. So I do know that in Dubai there is 30% laborers, and these people have accommodation and food on the company. So I will remove that category. Then the medium class, the medium income class, I do believe that they will do less shopping than the high income class. Moving forward, I will just check each category, how frequently they will go to the supermarket and buy and do their grocery. And I will consider every person or every 2 person, usually they go in, let's say on average, every 2 to the supermarket, and then I'll see how many trolleys. At the end, I will add and then calculate it over a year. And then I will add the trolleys that are in a supermarket that are not being used, and then the ones that are in the shops and the ones that are under maintenance. The shops are in manufacturing, and the last one will be under maintenance.
I didn't get the last point. So say that again.
The last thing, after calculating the number of trolleys in UAE, I will add to that number the trolleys that are being manufactured from our client and other manufacturers in UAE that are already there, but they were not yet sold. And I will add the number of trolleys that are under maintenance that people can't use in the shop.
You're talking about inventory.
Inventory, yes. And after that, I will also consider how long this trolley will last, and divided by the number of years of the life expectancy of that trolley.
Okay. 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 Let's say there are 100,000 trolleys which are operational in Dubai at any point of time. Yeah. If that's the number that you want to play the last logic with, how would you take it forward? Let's say 100,000 trolleys are operational and working at any point of time.
Okay, so do we have any information about how long can a trolley serve? For how many years?
Let's say 1 year.
1 year. So basically that would be our total market size, since every year the supermarkets and the malls need to change this 100,000 trolleys.
Right. But then what about that maintenance that you spoke about, inventory?
I thought Okay, I thought you included them in the 100,000. So
No, I'm
the
saying
one,
100,000 operational in the malls.
okay, so the question was how many trolleys are in Dubai? So in order to, so if we have 100,000 trolley, I would like to see the percentage of like every big supermarket, what is the percentage of trolleys that have a tire broken and is under maintenance? And then I will add this number of trolleys. Let's say 1% of these trolleys are under maintenance. So I will add 10,000 to the 100,000. So it's going to be 110,000. And then I will add also the what is the rate of production in the and how fast they sell their items, the trolleys, the manufacturer. And I will add it also to that number at on a yearly basis.
I'm
So I would
confused.
say, why? So we have
I get it.
110,000 trolley with the maintenance. So these are already sold and they are in the supermarket. What I'm mentioning is the trolleys that are being fabricated but not yet delivered to the supermarket. Should we consider this section?
Why? Why is it required? That's what I'm trying to understand. Why is that inventory number important in the calculation?
Because the question was the number of trolleys in UAE. You didn't mention in Dubai. You didn't mention the operational.
Point is we want to have market size, right? Market size means what? How many trolleys are sold in Dubai every year?
Correct.
Right? So what you're saying is currently 100,000 plus 10,000 means 110,000 trolleys some players might have sold last year. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that's the market, right? Why do you need to think about inventory?
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to dig deeper with my thoughts, but yes, you're right.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. Cool. So, Mark, I think I got what I wanted to evaluate it. I evaluate from your profile. So before we close the interview, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. Gaurav, I would like to ask about your personal experience moving from consulting and now how different was your life, basically, how much it changed being a consultant with a very tough working hours and versus now I do know that you have tough working hours, but how that changed and how much
It's 10
extra
o'clock
time you have.
already in India. It's equally tough. Okay, so no, I think that's a very good question. And yeah, I mean consulting life and probably the previous consulting and post consulting life would have a difference for sure. But yeah, I mean every life has pros and cons. So we enjoyed it we entered that particular life with a particular objective, and yeah, that's why we enjoyed. I enjoyed consulting stint. I'm enjoying my post consulting stint as well.
And I have one more question, if you may.
Sure.
How do you think Bain, for example, will cooperate with, like, what kind of projects will have post-COVID or during COVID? Do you think they will be so different than before? Will they focus on digital transformation and technology? And what do you think about that?
Absolutely. So Bain has always been a little bit, I would say, um, among the MBB, it's been more on the finance and digitization curve. Yeah, so the new age projects has always been their forte. And yeah, I think in terms of the way the COVID has changed the world, we do see that Bain will get a lot of these digital transformation kind of work. Secondly, because the way the most of the businesses have got affected, yeah, be it working capital or be it the capital investment that are required in strategic projects. There's going to be a lot of financial transformations that are going to be required. Yeah, there would be a lot of like kind of a core strategies with financing as a major angle, and that's the reason Bain in fact is hiring in a lot of regions because they are getting these kind of projects.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Gaurav.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Thanks a lot for your time. And yes, we'll get back to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, great. Andre?
All right. Yeah, my congratulations. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to again encourage you to, I just want to share some of your feedback. I want to hear how did you like this interview? And, but before moving forward, could you please again turn on your cameras and do another applause for Marc. He has been giving all his best to some curveballs sent from Mr. Gaurav. So I think he has deserved our applause today. So Marc, my congratulations.
Thank you.
Basically.
Really nice thoughts, Marc.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for doing so.
Well.
And now let's basically also do the following. So every one of you, I just want you please write down in the chat what have you liked specifically about Marc's performance. Not only great job, but what specifically have you liked about his great job? And what didn't you like about, like what Marc could also improve, like help him to improve? And in parallel, I will also give the word to Marc for him to reflect. And afterwards, Gaurav can also provide the feedback, how he sees his that interview from the interviewer standpoint of view. How would Bain interviewer assess Marc and what would be the outcome? And afterwards, we're happy also to answer all of your questions and provide you with the goodies materials. So Marc, could you please reflect? So what have you done specifically good in that interview?
Okay, so basically starting with the fit section, I do believe that I answered some questions well, like I was prepared since I have tomorrow a Bain interview. I do know some question he asked me, and Gaurav knows that. That's why he focused too much on, you have to be very meticulous about every point you mention, and I know that, and like Gaurav will find the thing that he's a bit sure that you just wrote it because you saw it online, and he will keep on going, and because that's what happened in real interviews sometimes. Just usually they help you during the case in general. But in fit, sometimes they try to squeeze you to see how you handle stress. And that's what Gaurav tried to do today, pushing me on the same point of glass door. I think I managed the stress well. I didn't sweat like every time. Moving forward, in the case, I think I missed the clarifying question. I should have asked what other product do they sell. I usually ask, I forgot this time. As for the structure, I do believe that I did well. And for the market sizing, I think I got good ideas, but I added the last one, which was useless. I did that mistake also in the first interview with Bain, where he asked me, what is market sizing? It is the sales and not the number of trolleys in the country. It's the sales. So why would you include what you have in the manufacturing, which Gaurav is right 100%. And it's been 3 interviews I get market sizing, and before that, many interviews I didn't get any market sizing. So you don't know what to expect in any interview. It's not a routine. So that was my learning for today, basically. I need to focus on market sizing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Marc, what would you like to improve in your performance moving forward, especially for your upcoming interviews?
As for the fit, I do believe I am ready. As for the case, I would need to solve more market sizing just to, like, I need to be faster. I need to take a faster decision deciding if I should do it supply side or demand side, and then if I should go to household, and what will be the filter used in the market sizing. Basically, that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, sounds good. Marc, maybe just one more last question, which is extremely valuable to all the participants of our today's webinar. So what have you learned basically out of your previous interview experience? Maybe you could share some of the learnings from the real life case interviews, and how maybe you could also think out loud, like explain how do you think today whenever you are tackling any specific problem.
Sure. So it's been since September. I did an interview with BCG. I reached the final round with the partner. So I did 4 interviews. I'll start with my experience from with that company. So starting with the first round, I got 2 interviews. So the first interview was very chill. It was an easy case, but very tricky. Like you have to know what to ask, the right question, have a good structure. All your answers need to be structured, and you will pass. And that's what the calculation was super easy, and it was more about the structure of your thought and the case and the communication. The second interview, it was a stress interview. So basically it was like Gaurav doing me an interview, and he was stressing on many so we used to spend maybe 5-6 minutes during the case on one point, and he was just testing how I handle stress, and I passed to the next round. As for the partner, I felt I was more chilled, more relaxed. They are more focused on your thinking, your thoughts. They know that you are structured by now. And so in the last interview I did with a partner, it was fit questions mainly, with a very small case. He was mainly looking about personality, or how to be if he see you in front of the client. So at the end, they froze the position and they didn't recruit anyone. After that, I did with Kearney. Basically, the interviews were the cases were demanding and a lot of math compared to BCG. And so I do advise everyone to perfectionize your math skills, multiplication, division, and percentage. This should be very fast. Like, you can't use a calculator at the end. You should just be relaxed during the interviews. Some interviews I was not, like in A.T. Kearney's second interview, I missed the understanding of the main prompt in the third interview. And that in the middle of the case, he told me, what are you talking about? And I not panicked, but I stressed and I couldn't finish the case. So you should always stay calm. And okay, so now after being with, after working with consulting masters, I do feel that I will know how to handle, if anything happened during a case, I do know how to handle it, and I will ask for a time and I go back one step and try to solve the problem. In addition, I do feel I became way more confident in solving cases, because I learned through the coaches how to, for example, read the graph and then always ask, so what, or what now? And then this question will help you move forward to the next question that you're going to ask the interviewer, and he will give you, like, you need to ask the right question. That's basically the cases. At the end, everyone can do some math and some thinking. They are repetitive, the cases, so you just need to have a good base and good structure to tackle every case. But you need to ask the right question. That's mainly my learning from doing cases. At the end, so if you have the right question, so what now, you will know what to ask next, and you will be able to solve the case on time and correctly. So basically, these are all my learnings from the previous interviews. And
thank you very much.
Just want to add one thing, Andre.
Yes, please.
Don't be scared of failing and the demotivation. At the end, there is also the luck factor. And the more you do interviews, the more you will feel confident, and the more you will do better. The more you're relaxed, the more you'll do better. So basically, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marc. I hope that this is a very valuable learning for every one of you. our dear attendants. So, Gaurav, or better to say, Marc, would you like to receive some feedback?
Yes.
So, Gaurav, how would you rate Marc's performance in that interview?
Okay, I'll just go top down in the feedback. So yeah, I think if this would have been a real interview, I would have passed Marc. So it would have been a good, successful interview. And why do I say so? Because first is I felt that most of the time he was quite structured and analytical. Most of the answers, I think, especially from a fit perspective, is something that I really liked. And thirdly, I think he matched the tone. Yeah, so he spoke as if he already belongs here. Yeah, so there was no, he did not get intimidated. He did not come under pressure. And despite of me trying to, exert a lot of pressure and go into nitty gritties sometimes, yeah, he kept on coming out of it and respond very well. So the resilience showed was amazing. Yeah, so I think see, as a consultant, we know that everyone does mistake, and as a consultant, because you are always in an unfamiliar territory, you are bound to make a mistake. You are bound to face people who are like the masters of their own trades. But how you react, how you kind of work with them, without pressure, not losing your composure, keeping your structure, is something that is very important. So that client readiness is something that I sensed in Marc, and that's the reason uh, I will take him forward. Uh, of course, but not without constructive feedback, because the performance was not without glitches for sure. So, I mean, the first question itself, I think Mark was quite startled, and I could sense that pause, and he was thinking, "What do I say now?" Kind of a feeling, but he recovered pretty fast. Yeah. Uh, I think the one thing that I really did not like, and some people might find it like a personality, that's something that can be that cannot be changed. Some people might find it a little bit of unpolishedness, which can be polished, is the way he treated that HR and admin thing. Yeah. So saying that HR and admin were useless is, I think, sometimes can be politically incorrect, uh, or and sometimes can be rudeness. Okay. In any case, it is not acceptable. Yeah. So some people might actually this can become a reason for rejection, by the way. Yeah, if you are telling anybody, saying I mean, that they were idiots on their back, yeah, tomorrow you can, on my back, you might say that, yeah, Gaurav was idiot. Yeah, so nobody likes kind of the use of harsh words in a forum like this. Okay, so you need to be a little bit careful about it. But of course, there's a background. There is that possibility of polishing once you get into consulting. So yeah, I took it with a pinch of salt, but not everyone would do it. Okay, that is one. Secondly, I think the structure. Yeah. Uh, you try to make it too messy. Yeah, so under feasibility, certain things like the culture, and a couple of points that I highlighted then and there, they were just not, they did not belong there. Yeah, it was not required to be highlighted. It was just too much. Okay. Overall, the structure was very strong. I just felt that you try to overfit some of the points. Okay. Market sizing, you overcomplicated that. So for example, that inventory point was not required, and actually when you explained it that time itself, I felt that I mean, something is not right. I was not able to understand it. That's the reason I put a number to get a clarity in terms of, I thought, let me see how he plays with the number. Yeah. And it was then came out pretty clearly that you are considering certain things like inventory, which need not be considered. Okay. But I think overall, throughout this journey, the composure was good. You are with me. You are completely analytical. So I like that. Yeah. I also liked the previous analytical conversation, though it did not come across from the perspective of case. I just extended your fit part into case, but you are equally comfortable. The glass door, with the glass door part. Yeah. So yeah, I expect that kind of twist. Yeah, in the second round, for sure. Yeah, so I think overall the positive things. One is being structured in most of the interviews. Yeah, um, having literally run this case without fear, shoulder to shoulder, despite of pushed into pressure points multiple times. Again, is a positive. Uh, I think 90% that HR admin accept that the very good fit. Yeah, those three things I think were on your side. Yeah, and that toning down that harsh communication, and uh, in the market sizing, just ensuring that you just iron out that whatever thinking in your mind you have, which makes that calculation confusing for you. Just get that corrected. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for your feedbacks, Gaurav.
All right, cool. Then I think there is also a couple of more feedback posted into the chat. So from Vechan Kari, good job, Marc. Nice performance, Marc, from Oliver El Hari. Yeah, and then Omar Kearney, good job, Marc. But then Abhishek Das asks a question to you. Will it be determinal to representative if someone tries to focus or align their profiles with the motto of the particular consulting firms she is applying to do, or do you think will it be helpful? Abhishek, a quick question, a quick answer is basically it's beneficial if you know the values of the company. I wouldn't definitely try to align your cover letter to the motto of the company. But knowing and associating yourself with the values of the company is always a good part to be addressed in the first paragraph of your cover letter, describing like why do you want to join this company. Yeah. Good. Then anything else which, yeah. Abhishek Das. Marc's past experience description was really nice. I think he can improve on understanding and listening to the specific questions of the case study better. And from Omar Kearney, liked Marc's composure at times and how he handled the Glassdoor curveball thrown by Gaurav, how he used Bain name and reputation, negating their possible lobbying on Glassdoor. He should be a little politically correct, maybe calling his former HR department useless wouldn't be an ideal way to put his issue forward. Other than that, it was a good attempt, especially with a short but tricky case study. So yeah, Marc, as you see, Gaurav is not the only one to making out this point. So probably you need to take care of that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's basically move on with the questions. And Van Shankar has posted the next one. So for the market sizing, is population the right approach? I was thinking in number of malls and how many trolleys each mall would have as a proxy instead followed by the growth rate and replacement. Gaurav or Marc, this is to you.
That's a very good point, and I would even take it even forward. Yeah, why number of malls? Actually, square feet area under the shop, yeah, can be a very good metric, because actually speaking, the trolleys, number of trolleys which are planned uh, are typically dependent on the number of square foot area under sales. Yeah. Because I mean, you would have seen it, no? I mean, a lot of times, uh, if too many trolleys are consumed by single person, yeah, you can enter into the mall, but you won't you won't find trolleys. Yeah. And why that happens? Because the how many trolleys actually will make the mall congested, and in fact will block and make the convenience inconvenient, in fact. Yeah. There's a science behind it. So typically it can be done at a square feet area, ideally. Yeah. However, yeah, I mean, can you get it in the second round or last round interview quickly? If you get it, nothing like it. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, starting off with the population to identify the number of people who are shopping at any point of time in the mall, I wouldn't say it's completely wrong. Yeah, but yeah, if you would have come up with a square feet area, I would have said, you join tomorrow.
Okay.
Can I ask one additional question?
Who's that?
About the market
yes,
size?
please.
It's weight. So you mentioned square feet area. I was thinking in terms of segmenting in terms of large, medium, small malls, and then find how many trolleys would a typical large mall have compared to a small mall, just to keep it simple. I'm not sure if it's the right way, but
No,
okay,
there's nothing
thank you.
right or wrong. It's basically in the aggregation level, or it's like a levels, right? So I think you are talking about cutting it one level uh, higher in aggregation. I'm talking about taking it to like really as close as to the top down metric as possible. So yeah, I mean, you can always have small, medium, large, etc. But ultimately, that small, medium, large definition will also be basis the square feet area of the shop square feet shopping area. Right? So I agree with you. I mean, if you talk about malls of different sizes, that is also not a bad way to start.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will probably answer a couple of more questions, but we also want to share the goodies with those of the people who have stayed with us until that very moment. So just to answer a couple of questions. So what are the major things to focus on if one has his Bain interview in 7 days? Well, this is a great question, Gunjan. I would say that you need to hurry up, and of course, the best way, just get in touch with us, and we're happy to help you on that. But it also very much depends on your current level of preparation, and we definitely need to assess on that. Gaurav, what are the most critical things which you would focus on if you were to have a Bain interview in just coming week?
I don't know whether you're talking about second round or first round, because if it's second round, then the first thing that I will do is I will take a detailed feedback from the first round and understand what are the improvement areas, and specifically spend some time in getting that improvement areas ironed out. Okay. If you're talking about having a first round in 7 days, then yeah, I think normally these MBBs have a buddy system in which a consultant from the office can probably spend an hour with you. So very quickly get that hour, get an interview, get that mock interview and understand what are the shortcomings that you have, and try and take that 80-20 approach. So with limited amount of time, what is the hole that you want to plug, or what will be most effective to plug. According to me, in the first round, it's important that you focus on very, very convincing fit stories, and very, very strong structure. Yeah, at least these two things. And of course, in math, don't do silly mistakes. These three things, at least, if you ensure, then at least it will ensure that you go to the next round.
Yeah, anyway, Gunjana, I would definitely recommend you just get in touch with our client managers today, either within the webinar or afterwards, and let's discuss your specific situation so that we can help you to move to the next round. Okay, then maybe just one more last question is, what should be an ideal route towards a career in consulting look like? Is it MBA onwards or from bachelor's with a decent work experience? How should someone who doesn't have a strong academic background and resume go about it?
You want to?
Gaurav, maybe you?
Is that okay? Okay, so I think there is no prerequisite. So MBA is not a prerequisite. A lot of people join from bachelor's as well at an analyst level. Okay, and yes, academic scores. If you do not have any experience, academic scores matter, because see, the criteria for most of the big consulting companies, apart from structured thinking, top-down communication, and analytical bent of mind, the other criteria is ability to set and achieve challenging goals. Okay, now this is the part where traditionally, if you haven't done anything else in terms of experience, the only way for anybody to know whether you can set and achieve challenging targets are your scores, academic scores, right? That's the reason the top colleges or top scores is something that is preferred. Okay, but now what has happened is, in last few years, we have seen a lot of people who have done a lot of co-curricular activities. Nowadays, actually, kids start parallelly working as they do bachelors. They have startups, and there are so many activities which enrich their profile. Yeah. So as long as you have a rich profile and you are able to establish that you have the ability to set and achieve challenging goals, the formal titles, degrees, etc., are becoming less and less important. Though it's not completely gone, still all these consulting companies have their preferred schools. But yeah, that factor is now fading slowly. But the basic factor remains that whether you are someone who can set and achieve challenging goals.
All right. Great. Thank you very much for sharing your answer, Gaurav. And then, maybe just the last one comment from Juan or Joan Becerra to you, Marc. Regarding the personal feats, he responded very good and creatively, very well structured and good initial questions. Regarding the market sizing, I might have structured with calculating first number of supermarkets in Dubai. All right, I think that we have already covered this. So I would suggest in terms of time for us, in order to finish on time, let's basically move on to the next part where we are very pleased to provide the goodies to you, to those who have stayed at the end of the webinar. So Alexander, please, the word goes to you.
Sure. First of all, I want to congratulate Marc, and that was a really great job. And I hope that in future, you're just going to improve more and more. And for those who stayed with us till the end, I am happy to share with you some bonus materials. But first of all, you can check the chat, Zoom chat, and there will be a satisfaction survey. It's really important for us if you will share with us your ideas, some suggestions, because we really want to improve and we really want to get better in terms to help you, to help as much people as possible. And speaking about the bonus materials, you're going to receive the recording of today's webinar and the presentation of today's webinar. Moreover, you can right now book a free call with one of our client managers to discuss your situation, current situation, and to think about how you can develop it and how you can make it better in the future. Moreover, if you didn't you find your answer follow us on our social media, because maybe there we will cover one of the questions in our posts. So please stay tuned. And I would also to remind you about upcoming webinars, which are going to be devoted to BCG and Bain final rounds. So it's going to be very beneficial and interesting for you, I'm sure. And I think that's it. Follow us on social media and have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you very much, basically, guys, for joining us. Could you please write down into the chat whether you liked our webinar? Was it helpful for you? And could you please leave your feedback to us, as well as book the calls with our client managers. And on behalf of the entire team, on behalf of Alexander, on behalf of Gaurav, Marc, of our clients, and all the support team, we would like to say a big thank you for joining us today, and we would like to wish you a great evening, and we are so committed to help you to get your future offers. So see you soon, and let's get it ready. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.